with that win, we're going to map 3, and the difference, bananas. That's right, everyone. They're having bananas, and that means they're going to win a championship. I'm going that far.
I'll tell you, it's the strat. It's the strat. I was going to point it out in the previous timeout when we were watching C9 after their map win. Anybody spot H2O, bananas, anything?
No bananas.
Nothing.
No bananas. I'm telling you.
No bananas.
You're aligned on this. He's laughing because he doesn't know.
You're laughing.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's not aware.
You just witnessed it in front of you. The facts say that bananas, W.
I'm telling you right now, bananas, good source of energy. Cheap, okay? Potassium. It's slow burning.
Counterpoint. Killing people at the beginning of the round, W. Bananas don't help you get first kills.
They're the catalyst. The bananas are the catalyst.
Hey,
look at the difference in first kills.
They have the nutrients, Josh. And the nutrients gave him a 13-10 win on Lotus.
Zelsus needs to force feed Leaf a banana then.
No, they all need to get, listen, I'm telling you.
I don't know if we need
on
to
the
go
coaching
there.
staff, I'd be out there, I'd be, listen, lads, pick it up. Stack of bananas on each hand, some water, some H2O, get the vibes
But
going.
you see, here's the thing, though, all right? Like, that being said, it was really great to just see Leviathan play to the capacity, Wyatt, that we know they're capable of playing, especially on Lotus.
Yeah, definitely. And I was really impressed with the individuals in this game. We were talking about King in the Aim Lab shoot-around previously, that he's been the guy for this team in so many moments. But it was nice to see Shy really stepping up. He was having some big rounds, multi-kill rounds on the Killjoy there. Taco started picking it up on attack. He had a couple, like 2-3 Ks himself. They were looking hot individually, and that was something that I wanted to see. And I feel like it's been rare that we've seen multiple players from LEV all have good games in unison, and it finally did, so that was nice.
I also think that they were prepared for what was going to happen in this game. Like, they read the tempo of the play quite nicely. A lot of the time they were able to stall out that early aggression from Leaf, and then the first kills actually end up happening, I don't know, like 40 seconds into the round, where they've taken an area of the map and they're starting to get into the site. I felt like Leaf was being made a bit uncomfortable because he just couldn't find those early fights. And like we were alluding to earlier, he went 1-9 in first kills to first deaths. That's not a Leaf performance from the all year.
Yeah, not from all year, but a repeat performance from the last time they played Lotus. They played against Crew at the beginning as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought back that game eventually, but Leaf, again, wasn't really being set up particularly well in this game, I thought. He was getting traded out in this match here, and it ended up being quite close overall, but he's not winning the first duels. He's not being set up for it, right? I mean, he's 1-9 in a lot of these.
But to me, he's not catching people off guard like he was before.
Right.
Do you remember watching the old Cloud9 games and he's just always caught somebody like backing up?
Yes,
or there's a perfect
100%.
flash, perfect stun that lands on someone.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that for Leaf in particular, like, we're going to be honing in on him in map 3 because we want to see the impact that he has. But, you know, I actually wanted to go back and look at the stats. And of course, you know, obviously Taco having a great game, huge for him. But I can't help but feel like this is also like when they played Furia. And Taco also had a great game in map 2. And then they came back and then it
But
just
this
was
is
really
a bit
flat.
better. Though.
Yeah,
this
okay.
is a bit better because Josh was
So how's
saying
it
at the
different?
beginning,
Yeah.
with reason for it, but his raise has not looked good in the past, right? And that was the thing we were calling into question during the agent select when we saw this. But his numbers were good. I mean, the guy was putting up an acceptable performance for a duelist player in this. And normally, when he's playing in this kind of team environment as well, it's him who's looking worse off because, you know, his team, like, he'll lose a first duel, for example, and then suddenly they scurry into the walls of the map, of the various sections, and they leave him, you know? He's like the first unlucky rat who got caught taking the cheese. And everyone else, all the other rats are like, oh, the survival instincts have kicked in. We're not going to trade him. We're just going to scurry away. And so this time he got caught with a cheese and he was rewarded a little bit. He was getting the kill.
Oh, yeah, he's got cheese, bananas. What more does he need?
Speaking of cheese, let's switch over to beer. The Heineken 0.0 cents coming up for map 3. Beer and cheese go together, Josh. I will not have you question me any other way. But all right, well, let's go ahead, though, and shift focus on Ascent, right? Because obviously there were a lot of good things to take away from Leviathan in map 2. Now we get ready for Ascent. Bit more of the bog standard, what we're going to see people running. Josh, what are you expecting here, I guess, from Leviathan?
Well, from Leviathan, I think the same old, frankly. But it's Cloud9 that could lose this match. I mean, the pressure has got to be getting to these guys. They're in an elimination situation where they looked like a top team that was on a warpath headed to Tokyo. And last time you were bringing it up, Bren, the comparisons between Cloud9 playing against Crew recently.
Yeah.
Against Crew, they played a Breach Sky comp that looked like they had some good ideas, but it wasn't all there. And I thought that's just them messing around, you know, trying to add extra prep for their opponents heading into playoffs. I'd like to see them go, yeah, here we go, the Viper Sky comp. It looked so much better to me.
Yeah, they've just gone back from it, because maybe that was a bit of, you know, subterfuge of them trying to get teams to prep for the wrong composition as they head over to Ascent, but it was a much better look for them as well. And you got to think now, Cloud9, assuming they can pick themselves back up, they should be favored heading into Ascent. I would say that at least.
Yeah, what about for you, Wyatt?
I mean, I do feel the same way. I can't help but still mentally associate Ascent with Leviathan because it just was their playground for so long. But they haven't found that same success on it that they used to because they've just done it so many times. They've ran the map so often.
All right, well, this is it. Time to put up or shut up if you're Cloud9 and Leviathan. Let's send it back over to Vansili and Riv.
If anything, the desk has to shut up talking about food because I'm getting hungry here, but at least we'll talk about one more time. The last map here, the Heineken 0.0 on Ascent between Leviathan and C9. And I don't know how this is going to pan out here, Rivington, for Leviathan, because they've been 0-5 so far in this season. They were supposed to be a team that were unstoppable on Ascent coming in from 2022 to today. But it's been a different story here in the VCT's Americas for Leviathan.
They have been their own monster. I think on the defensive side, when they're playing and trying to get this protocol ready where they're setting up a solid defense, it's the same solid defense. It's solid, yes, but if the team knows you're doing it, they continuously flood lane together, look for the one shot. Two people will be in boathouse round after round on LEV's defense. It's Shy and Nasr back there. Will they be able to fix that? Yeah. And Cloud9 as well. I think a lot of people feel like this was their series to come through and show that it's going to be a strong lower bracket run. Well, the org's gauntlet power through running through playoffs is not in this one.
Exactly. A lot of people were expecting probably a 2-0 for Cloud9 in this series. And mind you, chat and people in the audience, we're moving into the game right now. Just had to resolve a quick technical issue in terms of in-ears, but we are good to go, so thank you for your patience. Now moving into the game. Last and final one here between Cloud9 and Leviathan. You have to put your hands together for these two teams, because after this map, one is moving forward, one is going home, and we don't know whose that's going to be.
On to Ascent. Leviathan to show us what they have changed on their defensive side here in Cloud9, bringing in the Viper Sky composition. We see the wall towards A to start, and a 1-3-1 execute somewhat here, actually 1-4, as mid will be the priority. This is Taco's home to start off pistol round with the Sheriff. They're making a lot of ground here, so this wall is going to be very good for retake. Replaces that smoke heaven we don't usually see in this cat hit. Possibly to come through unless they jump down through mid and just rush B. Okay, touch and go.
Yeah.
Had me surprised. It looks like they used the util that was going to be ready for sight. There's not too much more initiator utility here to use after that, so Cloud9 on the walk up.
Looking for the re-hit, and it's a jump spot by King.
They're everywhere in sight.
It'll get both players ready here for a high-low for Leviathan. There comes that swing, the first contact, but it's still Jake opening things up. The save plan now for Generator, but there's already support coming out from Leviathan. Big paranoia to delay the time, allowing C9 to set up on the pulse plan. Flash for a swing out, Jake trying to get these picks. But another knife comes through as it's only gonna spot Leaf.
They can be patient.
Looking for that kill, and they'll get it with the frenzy. 3 players now alive for Leviathan on the top of Heaven. Turret is gonna spot everything. Shock darts coming in from the heavens. Nanoswarm flooding C9 back out towards the A site. But things are looking good now for Cloud9 to get this pistol round. One-way smoke even set up.
Wow. Delay for days.
Yeah, it's even C9 pushing forward. Toxic screen about to come down. Both of them now spotted. There's still some time to work with into the final moments. Leviathan's final push back on the retake for the pistol. Doubling up, Zelsus hears that drop into the garden. And now you know, the spike's gonna come out in favor now of C9 rather, as Leviathan get a couple of kills.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh. And that's an interesting way to play a pistol round for Leviathan.
It seems like Lev thought they had the upper hand when Cloud9 did. Lev was preventing the plant from going down, but Cloud9 actually felt pretty comfortable in sight with the organization. They had the wall up ready to deny Leviathan the take, right? Those smokes are set up once they get into sight pretty much, so works out really well if Jake has to be focusing on other things. And Cloud9 wait out Leviathan for round 1 there. Again, this A wall comes through. It looks like Zelsus is going to be your B tiles look for quite a while here. Cloud9 don't want to give up free portions of the map right away, so a lot of lurking to happen here on the attacker side for Cloud9, just to make sure Lev is staying in their own spot. Nazra is the leaner. We know he's going back and forth to site, ready to use the util and assist the team to get forward, but both initiators now on cap for Leviathan here, ready to support Takulia. Oh, that shorty is ready, man.
Yeah. A contact from King. Takulia will play the patient game. It's getting cleared in the corner. A little bit of a ding, but doesn't do enough damage onto Leaf, who gets the kill with the Spectre. There's still 2 players supporting. Their fallen comrade being Takulia getting dropped. Now pushed back by Nanoswarms. All of C9 looking to pull back towards B, but there's a nice little pick coming out here from Noswer onto Zeppa. Advantage now comes back in terms of numbers for Leviathan. But it's still only pistols against the rifle of Leaf, the Bulldog of Rooney, and the Spectre of Zelsus. Almost an opportunity to get another shorty pick, but that's not going to happen.
30 seconds left.
Breathe a little bit longer.
Little mind games with the mechanics. King good for a shot. Detected. I think they're just waiting for the last bit of util to come in here, and Nazar may actually have a sonar bolt.
Knife is huge. He's going to swat 2 players towards the back so you can clear close. Up where Zelsus is low on HP. Paranoia allowing the flood back in.
Oh,
There's that first pick off. Only one left to go. It's Leaf with that Vandal. King on low HP does have the Sheriff. And Leaf saves the round there for Cloud9.
Looking at Leaf, he has not had the greatest of games coming into map 3. He is negative versus all the players of Leviathan and just even versus Noswer, so he changes that a bit.
Still
It's
smiling.
a big round for himself. Still smiling, exactly, because he knows it doesn't just need to be him. It can be the rest of the team, but when Leaf does need to open it up, he can do it.
1 enemy remaining.
So Cloud9 getting this pistol round. They didn't get any on our last map of Lotus, so starting off here on Ascent and grabbing second one, even though they almost got ecoed again, it got a little scary. Leviathan makes it tough to grab each one of these rounds. A little bit of the same A play with the wall this time, Vansili, but a lot more members for Cloud9 here to start off at B and a push by Shy.
Ooh. The push allows for him to get 2 kills, even the second one being full paranoid.
Drop the spike.
Jake finally comes in for the support, but that's a great start for Leviathan this time around.
Detect here. Shy's had a hell of a game for himself, too. A few multi-kills there coming out from the Killjoy, the Sentinel player. Jake and the team still want to re-hit here with a little bit of noise over towards Cat from Zeppa.
And mind you here that C9 are going back to their composition that they used on week 4 in the Super Week.
Yeah.
Double controller with the Viper, using that first poison orb to clear out the utility. At least from Killjoy, that wasn't really needed because Shy already got picked in early in the round. But the wall still allows here the lurk from Zeppa to happen. C9's been good of taking A ramp control in the past.
Oh, that's a head.
King playing close,
30 seconds
but it's a
left.
head in favor of King instead. Zeppa falls. Now the last 2 players forced to push inside the A site. Plant is going to get attempted with 20 seconds left on the clock. It will go down. Jake playing the off angle. Door being closed, so they want to have Leviathan guess that both players are playing inside A site. Jake looking for the timing. Gets it on the first.
Player standing.
Gets traded right off. The updraft. Nice shot by Rooney. Almost lined up the last 2.
Man, silly. These playoff clutches where we're getting some aim lab flicks are definitely getting people to hold their breath. From Demon 1 to the few we've seen today, they are connecting. Just one short, however, on that as Nazra does come up on the final trade. But yeah, Shy coming up so big here. And that wasn't even with the dart off. They were playing dart off Shy's contact.
remaining.
And then good teamwork here, even through Rooney's precise aiming. They needed that one. A lot of damage being done in these rounds, so it's going to start hurting the economy on both sides.
Exactly.
See if that starts to play a bigger role as we're only getting into round 4 here. So still so much to happen. Leaf with the Hero Vandal on this round and a possible Blade Storm.
Because of the damage done in that round number 2, it was an Arilla bonus round for Cloud9. So having to activate Leaf. 1 kill gets the Blade Storm, so they'll have a rifle and Blade Storms to work with, almost trying to punish Takolia down at 85 HP. Larbart now clearing things up.
Here.
It's time for Leviathan to start guessing where the hit's gonna be coming from. An ADS now from Leaf, a bait out from Jake, and a re-heal out from Zeppa. But still, both rosters alive in round number 4. Off-angled position now by Takolia.
The pressure being created here is immense on Market.
It's not being checked, nobody's watching it so far, but it's a jump peek first. Will the trade-off happen? It will. That's 2 rifles now picked up. Shock darts now into the Market.
Repair, reset. That's the idea.
Did get some information now with that TP in the B site. Pretty sure they're hearing that turret, so they know 2 players inside B site. Trying to push now towards spawn. Noswar just spotted Jake. And there's only 26 seconds left on the clock. Now it's C9 that's currently sandwiched by both extremities here from Leviathan. Paranoid doesn't hit anybody yet. Time for Massino and Kane to get the crossfire set up. There's the Guardian for the first 2 kills. Make that even a third! And gets a dig through the wall here as Massino comes in for the support. What a hold by King there at the Garden.
Stampedes work a little less on Ascent. There's so many ways to get yourself in position, get those audio cues, know exactly where your opponent's going. There aren't as many avenues that you have on Lotus. And Leviathan just suffocates Cloud9 there as they try to come around through the back and then through the front door again. C9 though feeling out the map. They may have got quite a bit of information about how Lev wants to play there. You can't consider anything getting by these teams right now. As we get now into round 5. Pretty spread out in this default here. Mid clear quickly just to make sure C9 knows Leviathan is not taking mid control, which Takolia was pretty close to getting on.
Yeah.
So really, really heady plays and good thoughts about what Leviathan wants to do. Oh.
Turret already broke in. Shy around the corner. Did you go from both ends? Zelsus wins it. That's all that utility cleared now on the B site. Noswar looking for a timing, looking for a punishment. Takolia also damaged by Nanoswarm as he was also looking for a pit before the dark cover came out from Jake. Plant will now come down. A late lurk out from Rooney. A fight now in the Market for a 1-for-1. Advantage still for Cloud9. Jake hiding by the logs. And that is going to be a huge poison orb that's going to deny any crossover back from Leviathan as they all fully back off towards the A site. And the Seekers will also deal all that now for Cloud9 as they know they can play off the site. So they'll regain the lead. Making sure, though, that you're still exiting the site safely, patiently as a group. And Cloud9 will take the lead on the attack. But this seems to be a continuous story for both of these teams in the first 2 maps. Make that even a third now.
Yeah.
Piss around trade-offs, and you're going back and forth in these early rounds.
Yeah, with this last map, we got the 6-6. And we do see Leviathan having a bit of trouble again, holding towards that B site, something that plagued them a lot towards Furia. So if Leviathan cannot figure out that defense, I think Cloud9 goes back there for round 5 because we see Shy pushing up, because Cloud9 identifies we may be able to get a first pick here. Again, Shy peeks, goes for that aggressive play, and it's exactly what Cloud9 gets in on the site with. So while Lev is playing a different style of B, it's not able to hold up so far to what Cloud9's bringing. We may see the same style going in now that we see Shy and Nauser back together. A big push towards A and a 0 point denied here. No information for Leviathan off of that. So a bit of a different strat for C9. It looks like they're going pretty quick here.
Yep, just an explosion towards the main A side. Big paranoia that's gonna blind Massino, who TPs towards the back at hell. Leaf knows this. He gets hit by the paranoia himself. TP comes back out towards the generator. Wow. But finally gets stopped there by Zeppa. Meanwhile, though, King has also fallen, so we do have a 2-player advantage for Cloud9. Shy was still hiding behind the boxes
Planted.
to get 2 kills of his own. Plant will still come down. Owl drone to try to get some information. Big turret now picked off.
Last player
Nice little
standing.
flash to allow Jake to push up here, courtesy of Zeppa. And it's up to Nosler with the Odin. And he's going to choose to save the Odin for the next round.
Super snappy play from C9. Look at where the wall is now for the Viper wall. It's been A a bunch of times. They switch it over to mid now towards tree on Cat. And Leviathan may think that that A hit may come a little slower now, but it's not. Off the rip, we see Cloud9 going in, and again, after dodging out that 0 point. Not giving any information over to Leviathan. So instantly swamping the site. Cloud9 come up big on that.
And it's still some good reads, though. Seeing how Leviathan's adapting on these walls that's being placed by Rooney.
Absolutely.
Those walls that were splitting towards the A site, you notice how passively King was playing just by the jump up by the garden, knowing that they've had weaknesses on defending the A ramps far time and time again, actually, in fewer rounds before, fewer weeks. And then this time around, as it's going towards mid, you had once again a high-low hiding spot from both Shy and Messino. In the right side, tucked in corner of the A site. Yeah, get a couple of kills, but in the end, it still came down to good pulse plant from Cloud9 as they had the spike down.
Good post plant. They're opening up the rounds. 4 and 2 on first kills, the first deaths right now. So a bigger switch than the momentum they're starting the game with there than our previous series. We do see them usually taking a hold, though, once they get a handle on these ultimates, which a lot of ultimates are now going to be active. 7 across the board, 4 for Leviathan and 3 for C9. I think that's maybe why Owner wants to get in, give them an idea of how these ults can be used round after round, and maybe we see King flying in, right? King being that front spear with Takulia here, because if you get the KO in, you shut down a lot of what this double controller comp might want to do.
Yeah.
With the site to defend it on their retakes, or on the post plants, I should say.
Yeah, and even then, if they want to continue to fight behind the toxic screens, I mean, King's responsibility could be right there to pop flash, to fight through the toxic screen and fight right back. Not play these tight angles, these tucked in corners that on a few executions, C9 were really clearing those very well. This time around, same wall comes up from Rooney up at middle and towards the garden.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, though, it's a passive play by Cloud9. Blade Storm out early for Takulia. Lots of ultimates available from both teams. Trying to punish a first mistake. It's Cloud9 trying to move forward and lean at the A site. And Messino decides to pull back.
Contact now.
Yep. Jump Spot has a paranoia too. If there was more utility coming out from Cloud9.
Oof. You see this molly just above their head too. That lineup that Rooney's able to throw, that actually denies it that they don't have the Viper wall in A now, but can still get a little bit of that dodge out on the angle Leviathan would use. So a good grab, understanding that, yeah, an initiator's here with Rooney still, and that's kind of a Cloud9 hit that they would need. So Leviathan can breathe easy for a moment, reset this defense, and try to focus the hit on A that Cloud9 looks like they're going to want. Oh, Zelsus just playing the utility game right now, trying to give Lev some other things to think about as this A hit comes in.
Leaf does get the pick off onto King. A second one through the smoke onto Takulia, denying the Blade Storm. Messino, unfortunately, was able to take down one. Not much you could do when the rest of your teammates have fallen down in the forefront of the defense. Now putting the last 2 players once again in a situation where they can't do the retake. We've mentioned those ultimates available across the board, and it was too many of them even for C9 on a pulse plant.
Getting into it, the shots, I mean, those ultimates are going to last for a few of these rounds. But Cloud9 starting to pull away very early, Vans. We thought it might be another punch for punch as the teams go back and forth, but C9 are using this attacking side to their advantage to go as aggressive as possible once they get a chance. This round being a re-hit and blood in the water. They're going to go hunting right now. Jake clears his first angle, but he may actually give Nazar the way. Oh dear, what? Ships in the night going on here, B main. And Nazar is probably saying, sorry, Shy, I swear to God, he smoked me off. 5-2. And those, you can see, successful post plants as the scoreboard comes back up, 5, 6, and 7. all exploding in Cloud9's favor, just as their style of play is heating up as well. All right, into round 8. How do we set up for LEV now? This wall change from Cloud9 has just allowed them the movement on the map they need. They don't have to worry about clearing mid as much, and they play a late lurk with Zelsus to mid. They've been switching up how they're hitting each site. Not even hitting, but showing a potential hit.
A dash to get some information, allowing a crossfire to set up here. A mini shark attack. Both denied here by Cloud9.
Wow.
A half buy from these plays that came out now from Leviathan. Still has C9 working the map very slowly. And losing those 2 players gambles now the rotation from Leviathan towards B.
You see the way Shy is playing just on the edge of his turret so he can rush to B and help her get to A. This is what Cloud9 is doing to Leviathan. Just a few early kills, spread them thin, and it's what was missing from Cloud9's game before and why they look so dominant. Being able to convert the 5v4 is huge.
Oh, Shy just got hit by the snake bite, trying to get a timing running across. And Zelsus picks him. Nice shot there by Jake right after. And that is that Odin deny. Passing the spike around just to build up the ults. That's going to be given now to Zeppa. And of course, King only with the Stinger. He's trying to move forward for a couple of kills, and with the spike going down, seems as though only Zelsus really got damaged here in the round.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh my. Oh my, that was clean.
He did that on Heaven and right there too. Ooh. Little endorphin hit for him. He's feeling good. 6-2 now. Ascent continues to play Leviathan. Leaf turning it all the way up now. More first kills than he has the entirety of Lotus here on Ascent. Look at him bouncing in his chair. Yeah, feeling it. Like we said after that tweet last week, it's got to feel good that Jake can put this performance back on show for the team. Quick jump towards line.
And quick drops from Lev. Yikes. Already 2-player advantage now for Cloud9. Smoke crossing it over, allowing now Leaf to just dash across. And I think just instantly that'll be a full save.
Yeah. C9 even using Seekers, because at this point, Leviathan hasn't done a lot of their patented saves. So you can see how Cloud9 feels like this round might go. These are coming in, Van. They're going to find him.
They're hunting for sure. Off shot now miss, and C9 are now closing in. At least Shy is able to hold onto his weapon for a bit as he drops Rooney.
Yeah.
And with that, you definitely see that they didn't want to fight any longer against the operator
coming back
on Takulia. But, you know, even if we're saving this weapon for Leviathan, that's great information. I think this is the first time that Takulia is pulling out the operator this half.
Powers out.
So having that come through, having that being shot, is going to put C9 into a comfortable position of how they could read the map into the late round, or into the next round, rather.
Yeah. I wonder, once they recognize that too, how they use the walls, how they do a bunch. Look at it. Everybody's about to max out on money for Cloud9, so they are hunting.
Okay.
And there's one. There's your sensor kill.
Yep.
Censored on screen. Cannot see.
Thankfully, there was not somewhere in the back of the site, so that will be the operator that still gets saved, but to the loss of what? Takulia, so a little bit more money.
Yeah.
Forced to be invested around that operator saved. Dude, that was clean.
Gun here.
I think we're starting to see the C9 that we know from the beginning of the season here.
Yeah, the swing, the confidence in their swings too, that they're coming out with. Jake just a few rounds, Leaf there with a few. It looks like it's going fast here towards B, but a great 0-point captures just the majority of the team, I think. They get stalled out for a second here, Vansili.
You should run.
Spike is ready to go in as the lockdown counts down.
Now pushed out. Nosler still has the Elm drone if he wants to use it here once he gets smoked out. Here's a drop. Oh, Shy still gets the spray through the smoke with the headshot onto Zelsus. Close range here as Jake's trying to battle it up. Both players are still alive, and a sticker then answers back. Pick now up for Cloud9. Drop down in the B site. Plat now comes in. Lockdown available for Shy, so he'll place it at the switch. That will have to force the C9 players outside of the pit. And all Leviathan needs to do is to hold this, but they're not holding it so far. Two of them now finally comes back for Leviathan. Rudy stuck inside the pit, dropped by Mazzino with the judge. And that's how you answer back against the Vipers pit. Leviathan will get the third round in the map.
That's definitely a different B protocol for defense by Leviathan. Nobody dying in the back of Boathouse. Everybody coming into the site together. It used to be a 2-3 split in the way that they did that, so Leviathan switching it up beautifully and actually being able to get through Cloud9 pin on that. Flying through, great use of the lockdown as well to create all of the pressure. And you gotta call out that the sonar bolt by Nazar as well.
Yep.
Firing it just outside the pit to see if they were coming out, to see if they were trying to fight stairs, and gets a majority ping there. It allows Leviathan a clean retake. There's a round to start knocking down the economy at Cloud9. We only got 2 more left in this first half.
You always mentioned it was some good money out for Cloud9, so a healthy buy, and King wants to fight. First one to fall. No smokes available now for an execution for Cloud9. But they still have the wall up on B there, set up by Rooney at the beginning of this round.
Pushed up by Taco. So Taco's saying, no one's here. Shy can let them know the Killjoy turret and bot are still ready mid, and Mazzino, we know, to be anchoring this A site, will never leave Dice or Hell area. So they all have their solid holds. Anchors on site. And already in the 5v4 situation. This has been Cloud9's to convert with all of their first kills this round, but now Lev start to attack back at the right time, honestly. These last 2 rounds would be huge coming into the second half.
Great utility by Zeppa. A flash, pushing Shy away. That's information heard now by Zelsus, and a Trailblazer spawning the op. So they know there's less players now towards the A side, but there's still that mid-rotate. Now the players are back in favor for Leviathan. Big denial from a paranoia being thrown by Mazzine. King getting to pick up off the lead. A fight here come out towards the generator, and it's still C9 that answers forward. 1 more to go. Takolia with the operator on a 2 versus 1. King getting all of this information so far. A flash misses, allowing Takolia to move forward. Now with the turret, his position's given away. Vandal now picked up. Plat coming down. Takolia getting the action up to Zeppa. 1 versus 1. Up to Zelsus. Peeks back out. As Takolia's not looking for the drop. Hit the wide swing from Zelsus to win the round for Cloud9.
To stop the momentum in its tracks.
Round in the half.
That round meaning so much more than it looks. 8-3 now. Zelsus coming up huge with the clutch there. We see the take on the site. Zeppa in these moments being able to come up with so much for the team. And that one could have really switched up the way that Lev was working here. They're down onto a lower buy now because of that loss, because losing all their teammates. And we have our final round of the first half coming in. Ultimates to be used on both sides, so better expect Leaf to be coming out with Blade Storm. Activated to start. 2-3 split across the map is they may work mid here, get this alarm bot, and then they hit whatever site they want.
Well, actually, Zeppa's moving forward with potentially a Trailblazer once again in B main. Another round where Leviathan's able to save up for an operator.
Yeah. Push Taco off. That's the idea. And they see him again. Yeah. They see him again.
Wait, he's peeking back out. Tailwind activated.
No way.
Head-to-head big flash, and the right click doesn't connect. Managing to save his life, his own life with his own dash. That's a 5v5 now. Still available with a minute left on the clock.
Getting ready to push in. That switch dash is coming. Oh, Leaf actually cannot dash in. Both have activated. Both have run it. You gotta love this.
Try with the off angle. Zelsus gets the pick. A TP towards the back of the side. Hunter's Fury. Nice shot here by Noswer. Does get a second round to Jake, who dances around, manages to stay alive. A push out towards Spawn from Zeppa, who does get the pick. King's by himself in the back of Spawn. He does get 2 kills. He's looking for the third, and he's gonna get it.
Spike down.
Answered back by Rooney. A flank across, and he makes it a 1 versus 1.
Up to Taco again.
Snake butt on the ground. Takolia gets the pick, and Leviathan salvages the round.
A very much needed round. That a little bit of pressure, scoring the goal before the halftime whistle blows will bring that much needed momentum here and stave off what could have been a hugely detrimental pistol round if C9 can run away with this first round of the second half. Taco steps up big, and it's exactly what the squad needed.
It's do or die now for Cloud9, and if they want to make the playoffs, well, we spoke to Zelsus about this pressure cooker situation.
Me personally, making Tokyo, and I think if we make Tokyo, we make champs. I mean, this is like super important to me because I've never like won in my career, basically, right? And to be like in franchising for the first year, to have the teammates I have, to have the org I'm on, it's just like, I feel like if we don't make it, we're like kind of letting everyone down. For me personally, I feel like I'm letting everyone down. Especially after the season we had, you know, if things were different, like if we didn't make playoffs, if we weren't, you know, second seed or whatnot, right? Then it would be different, maybe. But right now, it kind of just feels like I want to do everything I can so that we can make Tokyo, so that we can be, you know, the team that we know we can be, and I just want to win.
And it's working out so far pretty good here for Cloud9, rather, because they got 8 rounds on the attack side of Ascent. Shots are landing left and right, not only here from Zelsus, but from Jake and everybody else, and also under these pressured moments are still on the fly, okay to fight towards spawn, where usually most of the defenders are. So I feel that they're kind of in the zone right now. They have now the defender half too. Leviathan have to come up huge now with this pistol round.
And that's the thing, C9 have the defender half on the most defensive-sided map you have in VALORANT. An attacker-sided game, be it. But yeah, Cloud9 are now sitting in a very, very good position to make sure they can get this one locked up on Ascent. And still LEV staring down the barrel of a map they have yet to win in the regular season, and now pushing themselves here in the decider as it was floated in their playoff matchup of the lower bracket versus Cloud9. Elimination looming on the horizon here, and Cloud9 close to securing the victory.
Hey, look at those moves. Nice moves, man.
Heck yeah.
And for the rest here, in the Riot Games Arena, it's quiet. Are they nervous? As nervous as Cloud9, as they face now the last half here of this series. Cloud9 in the lead by 4 rounds. Leviathan looking to find this early pressure, this early control towards A main.
Scanning ahead.
Well, they know it's mid. There's definitely a lot of pressure down. They heard where those shots came from. What looks like is hitting on A on LEV here does have the spike, so they end. But there's going to be alert from Shy.
We're going to get some
Oh, yeah.
Shy gets denied. The rest of Leviathan were looking for a contact play into the A site. Now King's trying to take the matter into his own hands. 10 HP with the Ghost, making a lot of noise, trying to get the pinch back. Onto Zelsus. Takuli on the top of Heaven. There's a right-click classic. But Leviathan are still fighting back. A 2 versus 2. Low HP are Leviathan, but they're still standing strong. Oh no! Flank behind from the Zeppa! Backstabbing both players of Leviathan. Comes in for the defuse, and he'll get the Red Bull clutch.
Whoa, what timing by Zeppa. I was looking at the buys and I was like, you know, we're seeing a lot less frenzies here. Usually it's been frenzy mayhem, and that's why the frenzy can come so big in those situations. Incredible. Yeah, that first kill out of nowhere. C9 gets back to their dastardly ways of smoke frags. And unfortunate, they're playing the Praying Mantis defense back to back. If one of that falls apart, it's done. You can't do much. Oh, Sheriff's all over the place for LEV here as they try to get the Chico round in. And a Bulldog triple buy for Cloud9 as MCE calls in the timeout. It's like, keep a level head. This is where LEV gets nasty. Their thrifties have been really, really powerful.
MC is calling that timeout, but from that last replay, I felt like he needed that timeout for himself. His chest is beating. He needed a breather, and with this breather, yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, Riv, an opportunity to play against Chicos, and we're actually having a different play. You'll see once we get back here from this timeout. But Owner is taking advantage of this time to talk to his team and see how they could play against this second round from C9. They're actually going in for a bye.
Oh, they switch it up. I mean, I like it. It changes up the style of how you want to play it altogether. These peaks become jump peaks now, not single sheriff shots. You want to lure Cloud9 in as close as possible now with this Stinger buy. before showing your hand too much. Cloud9 gets the long angles, they're gonna gun diff. So Leviathan really trying to put forward a strategy here that gets as close as possible before being able to activate this strat. A main is one of those ways. Ascent lends itself to this. You can get right up on the front door of your opponent's site before hitting it. Jake squeaks into wine. They see him.
Still want to pressure forward. Meanwhile, the knife was being thrown, so Jake can actually teleport back. Waiting for this smoke to dissipate here to allow Leviathan to regain control of A main. Shot at steps left and right.
Wow.
Stalemate for both of these teams. Leviathan looking to pull back now towards B, where we have Takalia pushed up in a forward position just by opposite Sabrosa. Trailblazer even misses him.
Yeah. Taco just tucked under safely. Took a few shots, I think, in the beginning there from Leaf, maybe. But a reset. Looks like it's going to be a cat hit and an A long hit here, or A main hit. In Cloud9 have guessed it right. They lean 1 mid, 3 towards A. Leviathan are going to have to hit shots and trade this just about perfectly.
The dash close range Stinger trying to punish Rooney, who falls back. Manages to escape. 0 point spotting some players across, but Leaf is the one that gets the first blood. Zeppa in the back of the site by the generator. Stopped by King. Still more players inside the A site for Cloud9. A reloaded coming back from Leaf. Has to get answered back by Shiloh versus one.
Oh my
God. 1 HP. 1 HP for Zelsus. Under the pressure. Wins 2 important one-on-ones for Cloud9.
He was just telling us he hasn't won the big one yet. Well, that's the kind of plays you need. You got to win all the small wars before you can win the battle. Oh my gosh. This is wild. This is wild. Zelsus with 2 big clutch rounds here coming up in the last few that brings them into a really, really good position. MCE as well. Having another heart attack probably. And now it's the Shiko round. Leviathan continues to try and buy in here to keep themselves relevant in the rounds. And Vansili, Leaf says no.
It's where the Shiko comes in. You almost had an opportunity to win your force by with Stingers. Doing some more damage here if you can with the Sheriff is going to keep the economy low for Cloud9, but everything's just looking too good for Cloud9. Solo holds assists from Zeppa, allowing Rooney to stand his ground on Catwalk. Shy's by himself, chased down, hunted down, stopped by Zelsus in the end. And one of those moments where you would have hoped here as a Leviathan fan, winning that Stinger round.
Yeah.
Would have probably closed that gap a lot quicker. But now the economy is right for both of these teams. A little bit more here for Cloud9. Leviathan have to be perfect within the next few rounds here to try to break the economy back for Cloud9 to try to come back.
Where's it going again? I'm watching Rooney's Viper wall here. Just seeing how these plays are going in, Vansili. It seems like, well, KO's great to have on Ascent. Almost like they want a Sky Flash to be able to go through here to activate on this wall that Rooney keeps putting up, playing retake and delay. It makes it really hard for a KO to get full what is it, efficiency out of the flashes, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, it just seems like they're snuffed on trying to get these close sight takes. Stalled here to see if they can get a reaction. Okay.
Still gets him, man. This guy with the Sheriff. Oh boy. And for Cloud9, they're treating this round like a bonus round, which is why you see the lower buy. So to make this expensive against Leviathan, and already dropping 3 players in the process of Leviathan's attempt to hit the A site. Shy has to have a perfect timing here, and he does. Puts the turret to watch the cross back over, and a smart play from Nosware to rotate all the way back towards spawn. But now this is where it's gonna get dangerous. Thankfully, it got pinged out, but he's about to cross over here. ADSing on 3 players, and that's spiked down.
Oh my gosh.
30 seconds left.
Shy solo. There's that first. And now it's Cloud9 at series point.
What a play there. As well for the rotation over. The turret still hanging out in B main, so they know if that cross even happens, there's another way to peek on from tiles and get that triple peek down. Just played so smart, controlling the map, and really just in the mind of Leviathan in these last few rounds. Following them around the map without being able to see your opponent. That's probably making Leviathan wonder how they can get to one of these spike sites. All that utility now moved over to A for Zelsus, a triple push in garage.
Gets traded off here. Atako Leah trying to do whatever he can. But we've seen this story before, Leviathan against Loud, where the shark attack came through and a spike falls. But we're still holding strong for these last 2 kills. Zelsus steps up, and C9 finally tamed the Sea Serpent and ends Leviathan's hope to Tokyo.
Zelsus, instantly to Jake. The reassurance, the confidence. The congratulatory hugs here for Cloud9, who stave off elimination in the VCT Americas playoffs. Everybody coming up big there as well. In a game where we actually saw LEV, somebody who's been exploding all season, still have a slow start, was able to come out big in game 3, but the team didn't really have too bad of a slow start there. Everybody able to frag around the board. And Leviathan taken down on Ascent once again. It becomes their goose egg. They cannot get this map to result in a win. And that will be Leviathan eliminated from the playoffs.
Spike down.
Still have to give it here for Leviathan to definitely put up a good fight against Cloud9.
Jeez.
The first map here, when they played on Haven, pulling out a double controller, trying to throw off Cloud9, trying to bring it over. It worked out for a couple of trade-offs, but in the end, it was still Leviathan that fell short. And on the second map, though, on Lotus, now that was a fight for Leviathan. And that was the potential that we thought of Leviathan throughout this season. But unfortunately for them, for series after series, they couldn't tie 2 maps together to win a series. And Cloud9 backs against the wall, pressure cooker, able to come back, eliminate Leviathan, and they will be facing against NRG.
Yeah, that game is going to be very, very spicy. Both teams kind of showing a weakness lately. The it's been shored up. But is it enough? Will they play to each other's level? Who can break through that ceiling to play a little bit better? Right? I mean, that's kind of what Leviathan had to do today. They had to play to the level of Cloud9 and then more, because we knew Cloud9 would come out strong. I mean, they got the parent buff in the crowd with Jake's parents.
Proud parents indeed, and definitely were proud on the shots that Jake was pulling out there on that third map.
Oh, yeah.
Now a little bit of room to breathe for Cloud9, but not too much, because there is a big game coming up, and that is going to be tomorrow against Team NRG. But thankfully here, we did not see a C9 that fell flat against EG. A C9 that has the Cloud9 form from that week number 1 to week number 8, stepping up to where they could. And I gotta say here, with seeing the performances of Cloud9 now and NRG today too, I think we're up for a doozy for tomorrow.
Yeah, well, how much homework do you have to do tonight? Quite a bit. It doesn't end now, right? There's going to be interviews for these guys, and then they have to go right back into it. This is crunch time, and you have to be at the top of your game. They're getting asked a lot of them.
Yeah, well, speaking of interviews, that's coming up next, because we'll have the Desks breakdown and the Verizon post-match interview with Zelsus. The VCT America playoffs continue right after this.
about time to get it. It's about time, not forget it. It's about time. Never gonna give up now. Never gonna stop now. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with me. Whoa, you roll with
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to VCT Americas. I'm standing by with Zelsus for the Verizon post-match interview. It was a slog of a series. 2-1 went the distance, but you keep your postseason hopes alive. Before we talk about this series, though, I want to roll it back to the series that you just lost before in the upper bracket and talk a little bit about how you guys rebounded, because this is a situation no one expected you to be in. It was a surprise that you were even playing today.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, like, you have to think no one expected us to be second seed either. So, you know, when you think about it that way, no one expected us to lose. No one expected us to be second seed. I think yesterday we just kind of, we didn't want it more than them. And I think nerves got to us a little bit, everyone, me included. You know, I have a big role for these guys to bring up the mood, bring up the energy. And yesterday I let them down with that. So today was just a lot different for us.
Love that accountability. We saw a feature of you earlier where you were talking a little bit about that role and how, especially in a veteran position, you would have expected yourself maybe to step up, pull those guys out of that rut, change the call, change the pace, something like that yesterday. What were the conversations like in just a 24-hour turnaround that got you into a place where you're comfortable you guys had the recipe for success today?
I think the biggest thing was just like reminding us, like, to play how we played during the regular season, you know? I think we did a little too much. Everyone included, we did a little too much for the EG game. And I think we just need to relax a little bit, play the game, have fun, you know, like we're at our best when we're just laughing, we're joking with each other, you know, stuff like that. So, and I think we forgot that yesterday. And now, you know, hopefully after this win, we remember who we are. And now, you know, we play NRG. So.
I love that. Speaking of joking before the cameras turned on, we were kind of talking about how with that loss, you're forcing yourself to play as many games as possible through the playoffs, but sight set on Masters Tokyo. Where's your confidence level at? How are you feeling about this position you find yourselves in when you even just stated, like, no one midway through this split expected that you guys would be in a position to challenge for the region's best?
I mean, our confidence should be high now. You know, I'm always telling these guys, like, we need to peak together, you know, check the boxes, make sure, you know, we're doing everything right. They played lights out today. Almost swore, my bad. They played lights out today, so I'm really proud of the guys today. You know, comms were up, vibes were up, energy was up. Lotus was a little rough. I think we should have won it, but Leviathan's really good on that map. So yeah, I mean, we have to come in tomorrow confident, refreshed, and ready to shoot these guys.
So, yeah, sounds good. Let's talk a little bit about that matchup. It's NRG. Unfortunately, only one slot remains at Masters Tokyo between these two NA teams. You're fighting up against your brethren. What have you identified in that series that you think you can take advantage of? Where is your confidence level when it comes to your matchup against somebody like Finesse and Squad?
I mean, those guys have looked unreal the last half of their season. They've always been good players. Obviously, you know, the Crashies Victor duo is always insane. FNS, as you know, behind the helm is good. Their W stripper Sam, you know, the streamer. I think he's always been like, an insane underrated star in the scene, and I'm glad, he got to play with those guys. But for us, I mean, they're just another team. It's one step to Tokyo. It's going to be a battle. It's going to go maybe 3 maps, maybe 2 maps. We might own them. They might own us. You never know.
I know the stage isn't quite complete yet, but while I've got you here, there was so much conversation around Cloud9, the roster changes, and what to expect out of this team. What do you think it is that has been such a big factor in your team's success over the course of the split? Why is it that these 5 guys with MCE behind you and the rest of the support staff, what makes it click? What makes it work?
I mean, you said his name, right? Like MCE. I think a big thing for our culture in the team is like, we're all friends, we're all like family, we're all super close. And if you're not enjoying coming to work every day, then you're not gonna have fun, right? You're not gonna wanna be there, you're not gonna wanna do well, whatever. But I think a big part of that is like MC and our 6-man Cooper actually do a lot for us outside of the game. They do a lot for us in the game as well, but outside the game, they help with vibes as well. They make sure, MC is learning everyone's, personality and like making sure how he talks to people, checking up on people. Good morning here, some people appreciate that, right? And I think he does a really good job of that. And then Cooper, he's just our young gun. He's like super happy all the time. He's a puppy, so it's just a breath of fresh air to have them.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Final question, or rather opportunity for you is you've given a lot of C9 fans heart attacks, maybe high blood pressure with the performance so far. Being on the edge of your way out of the playoffs. I just want to give you an opportunity to turn your attention to the fans who have stuck with you through the ups and the downs, and now are watching you 1 match away from moving on to that international competition and representing the whole of the region.
I mean, yeah, I love all the fans, all the supporters, all the nice messages that you guys give us and my teammates, the staff, the org, everything. We greatly appreciate it. No one expected us to be here. I don't know if we did. I don't know if it matters. If you're a hater, I don't care. I'm still here getting paid to play. So,
Yo, that's the realest answer. Let's go.
And if we're changing heads, I appreciate that as well. But I love all you guys, and thank you guys for letting us do what we like to do best and play video games for you guys. So thank you.
We love the love. Zelsus, once again, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. Can't wait to see you play tomorrow. For now, we're heading right back to the analyst desk with GB and the boys to break down the day.
Thank you so much for that, Dash. Always a pleasure to hear from Zelsus and, really get his mindset. And I think it's a good mindset to have going into the playoffs. I seem to have been invaded here. Something has just gotten on top of my head. But I'm also impressed with the fact that I'm able to balance it. It's freaking good, dude. There's no tape on this. This is just straight up success.
It's going.
What kind of animal is that?
Yeah. Whoa,
What kind of animal is that?
Oh, it's the it's Skydog.
Yeah, I told you earlier what type of animal it was.
You think I pay attention to anything you say?
Unbelievable.
That's crazy. You're just an analyst. Anyway, guys, let's go back. I'll have you right here. Let's go ahead, though, and talk about what we just saw, because for C9, though, Wyatt, that was what they needed. That is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, definitely. They needed the mental pick-me-up, and getting this win before moving on to play the actual qualification match next against NRG, huge for the mental, especially for Jake. And just, it's so cool to see what Zelsus is bringing to the team in regards to the mental leadership. It's genuinely the duality of man. Like, when you think of Zelsus, it is just... I don't think you don't think of him as this mature guy.
The pinnacle of maturity.
Yeah, who's like the elder kind of statesman on the team for these young new players keeping their heads in the game. But to see him in that role is really, it's genuinely very cool.
Yeah, and it's something he's taken
really
really seriously as well, by the sound of it. Like, he holds himself accountable to being that and being competent at that role too. He's talking about it way more than his role in the game.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And unfortunately, though, that means that we have to send Leviathan home. It's heartbreak as well, considering how good King played. But we did have a quote, as a matter of fact, from King, said it felt like a lot of us developed a fear of losing, which we talked about a lot today. And that stopped us from being able to replicate our level of play, experience, and practice. When everyone sees you as a top 3 team, it can be hard to manage that pressure sometimes when you get so used to being the underdog team at events like this. That is very interesting quote there, Sideshow.
Yeah, and I thought that, listen, this one was just after their previous game, but I think that this one really, to me, sums up their split so far and what they've got to change up to look forwards to LCQ2. They are so used to being the underdog team that no one's really studying and has that ability to punch upwards. And suddenly when the tables were turned on them and all of the focus is on that squad and all the burden of expectation, it felt like they struggled in that. But it will be a learning moment.
Was it a little bit self-imposed? Because if I don't know where the hype came from at lock-in, all I
scrims.
It was scrim bots.
It's all talking to other teams as well, though. It's not just like, you know, we're hearing from, oh yeah, they're dominating, but like, a lot of people respected them. Top teams respected them for the longest time as well. And they were always able to, you know, punch up at a lot of the global events, I think, as well, because of those, you know, cool ideas. Listen, sometimes the coordination wasn't there. They delivered some iconic moments, like the spike getting dropped off from full damage.
Yeah.
Like moments like that. But
also, throughout it all, there was still hype around King as a player. I'm talking about him being one of the best players in the world. He still performed to an incredible degree throughout the whole split and in this final game. He just went nuts.
Yeah, actually, if we take a look at the breakdown, you can see the stats for yourself. King dropped a whopping 22 frags, 15 deaths this game. But when you look at the rest of his team, and this isn't meant to like dog on the team, it's more just focus on the fact that King played that game to win. He was giving it everything he had in 22 kills, most in the server in a 13-4 loss.
I mean,
it sounds absurd.
It is absurd. He just played his heart out. He was excellent in this game. He was excellent on the previous map that they took, Lotus as well. His Viper gameplay there was great. And again, it's just it's a testament to how good he's been this entire year, but also a testament to living up to the hype. Like you were saying, Josh, it was him that early on in this year, if you remember all of the NRG players, people in the scene saying, dude, King he's the best player in the world. He is just dominating us in scrims, whatever. He is just the guy.
But when you look at this Cloud9 team on the other side of it, to me today was not about any individual. It was about them stepping up as a team and learning how to rebound from a loss and solving that mental component that both of these squads actually have really struggled with in their own different ways. And the comp that they brought out on Ascent, their execution of it was lovely. Their attack side was good. Their players were supporting each other. It felt like a bounce back even after the struggle on Lotus.
Yeah, Leaf getting supported, winning those opening duels as well towards the end of that final map as well. I think that what we witnessed here was Cloud9, you know, learning from the loss, bouncing back, and now I want to see how far can they actually take it, because they've got that upcoming matchup, short turnaround again tomorrow, but they're up against NRG. Without a doubt, we will be getting 2 North American teams going to Masters Tokyo, which is a cool aspect of this here. And I mean, you can see in the bracket as well, that upcoming matchup tomorrow is vitally important.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it boils down to what you're seeing. You're going to have Cloud9 take on NRG. And I don't even know where the chips are going to fall on this one, Sideshow, because it feels like it could be anyone's game if both teams are playing top form.
We expected this game to happen in the upper bracket. I think everybody had that matchup occurring at some point. And so both teams will know a lot about each other, be ready for the game, but it's not one where either team is particularly massively favored over the other. We've had a lot of games in this bracket where one team is at a huge, like, expectation advantage. You know, NRG coming up against EG, you're expecting NRG to win. It's crazy when they don't. Same with Cloud9 in that kind of situation. This one is a straight up, like, brawl. I don't know who is going to come out on top, but I think the mental game in that aspect is like a little less important compared to the strategy and the form that you bring to the game. Because it is just anyone's to win.
But you saw the other game that's on that schedule, Bren. Loud versus Evil Geniuses. What do you make of that game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that with the form that Loud's in right now, that is a team that they don't want to lose in playoffs at all. Like they turned it up massively compared to their regular season performance. Whatever, you know, it was a little bit loose. They treated the regular season as it really should be for a lot of these top teams, which is a bit of a marathon. You know, you're going to take your foot off the gas every now and then. You know, you're not going to go as hard, but you step up when it actually matters. And my God, did they step up when it matters. Now, still, EG's on a bit of a heater. Their opponents, I think every time EG has gone up against a team in this playoffs, I've spoken to people behind the scenes and they've been like, yeah, well, I'm not expecting it to be a good match. Like, everyone's expecting EG to lose at this point. This is a team that's not losing as well. Like, they are always upsetting expectations. They continue to expect expectations to this point. And who knows? I mean, maybe they are going to be having a really close matchup against this new form that Loud has reached.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Loud in amazing form, and EG, genuinely, without a doubt, they are playing the best that Evil Geniuses at any point in Valorant with any team that have ever played, and it's not even close. Yeah. They reached a goal that seemed 100% out of reach just a week ago. I mean, they have to just be floating through this at this point, you know. They have to feel like there's, in a way, no pressure left. I mean, they accomplished a goal that they didn't even think they could necessarily accomplish. That didn't seem realistic because Destiny wasn't even in their hands at the end of the season. And now they made it. I feel like they're just going to be almost enjoying themselves, living in the moment.
I hope we see a 13-0. I don't know which side it is.
You know what? No.
Just for the fun of it, I hope we see a 13-0. Yeah.
You are a monster. Dreams crushed for the fun of it.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, you're a psycho. Actual American psycho.
No, in both maps, I just feel like there would be some poetic justice to it to have, you know, the loud crushing EG 13-0 seems to have sparked EG's resurgence. They've won so many series after that. It would just be so delicious for there to be another 13-0 in there. No?
For EG to get 13-0'd again?
Or for them to do it the other way
just
around?
the vice versa.
You just want a 13-0. You're just a terrible person. That's what I'm understanding.
I just think it'd be good.
You just think it'd be funny.
Yeah. You know what, though?
It'd be funny.
I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so I'm going to be on the EG hype train all day, baby. I'm having a little EG jersey, my little flag. I'm going to be like that little meme of the kid just waving it around and stuff. I can't wait. It's going to be great.
I hope Demon 1 is excited to play because he had so many swirling emotions at the end of that game, and he looked heartbroken towards the end with like the thought process of what the team is going to look like heading forwards. So I hope he can mentally get himself back in.
Well, guys, look, I think it's safe to say I could literally sit here and talk to you guys all day. Love you both, for all three of you, very much so.
Both. You looked at them two and said both.
Yeah, get out. Get out. Why don't you invite me to Plat Chat next time? That being said, that's it for us here. Thank you so much for watching. Josh is fired for now, though. Here's your Prime Gaming post-day highlights. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Taking the chair away.
Take the chair. Get out. Get out. Go. Get out of here.
It's do or die, and time to leave everything on the line as Energy and Furia battle it out to keep their playoff run alive.
EG often the spark for Furia. A 1v3 now. Make that a 1v4 as the numbers get considerably worse. Crashes with the 3K and NRG with yet another round. Those going back and forth, numbers heavily in favor of Furia, and it doesn't look like it's going to be changing anytime soon.
Little bit of life still here, and that was, again, still just 2 Guardians.
The Viper wall was so good, and then the ult from Victor drops him. Victor cleans it up, and it got scary, it got close, it got ugly, but NRG take map 1. Presence in Garage, but QCK, oh my gosh! What is that? What on earth was that? NRG just want to take this fight on the side, and there it is. There you see why. Crashies with 2 big kills. QCK looking for exits. He's going for it. He missed. Oh, the last one counts. NRG elated that they've placated the fury of the Brazilians.
NRG, move on quickly. Another 2-0.
This is such an important matchup, obviously, but it's important outside of even the result of moving forward in the bracket. It's important to see how these teams really just pick themselves up.
Inside the smoke, Shy's not afraid of these kills. Zeppa looking to avenge his teammates. The smoke dissipates. 1v1, Shy gets the third. Is it going to be the farm? Nope, gets denied right away. Fight from behind, avenging his teammate. The lead comes in on the A site. Jake once again. King inside of the poison orb. Just a one tap. Leaf is back. Shy with 2 kills, but Leaf clears the back of the site and the front of the site. Rudy finally helps C9 seal the deal on the first map. 13-8 on the scoreline. First headshot there onto Leaf with the shutdown. Oh my gosh. Swing up from King for a triple kill. A fight towards the waterfall. That's Shy on the first one. Takulio answers back, and Leviathan are able to save.
Is there enough in sight?
There's just not enough time. They have that quickly, and it's Leviathan instead. And Leviathan are able to push this into a 3rd map. Time for Massino and King to get the crossbar set up. There's the Guardian for the first 2 kills.
Remaining.
Make that even a 3rd. King by himself in the back of spawn. He does get 2 kills. He's looking for the 3rd, and he's gonna get it. Stopped by King. Still more players inside the A site for Cloud9.
1 enemy.
But we're still holding strong for these last 2 kills. And C9 finally tamed the Sea Serpent and ends brings Leviathan's hope to Tokyo.